one.
Welcome to ComicCast, issue number 157, brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry comic books, graphic novels, statues, toys, and gaming merchandise, including miniature games, board games, and RPGs. Check them out, Dwayne's World Comics and Games, Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Adam Wade Adams, not eating anything.
I'm Comics Misexplained.
And this is Gaumer.
We are at ComicCast Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, wherever you get social with your media. Also, those of you joining us here in the live chat, be sure to smash that like button and share out the link. For those of you coming in, trickling in a little later in the week, do us a favor, leave a comment and subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when our lovely faces go live. And Chad Johnston, if you're floating around in that live chat somewhere, that was not me on Twitter. That was not me on Twitter. I don't know. I just now saw that. That was not me on Twitter.
He's in there. He's ready to get mad about something. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love when people are mad, except for when it's me. Because then I get mad and I start cussing at people and then hurt people's feelings.
I'm so angry.
They leave the podcast. They call me a bully, and it's a whole weird thing.
Bully.
If you want to catch the Patreon exclusive free show, also known as Boogie trying to fix his microphone, you can do that at Patreon. Patreon.com/ComicCastPod.
Usually I talk it up no matter how terrible it is, but yeah, it was Patreon this week.
I really enjoyed the Gomer's Nightmare stories, so hopefully this one of those on there, because that was cool.
Let's see who's hanging out in the live chat, then we'll talk about Gomer's nightmares. We got Chad Johnson here early hanging out. We got Adam Hempseed talking about things he's going to eat for dinner. Colton Dodson, a few new names this week, guys. Stick around. We're going to talk about some comic books, have a good time. We got Yule Carter, loyal ComicCast supporter. Thank you guys for joining us again. Smash that like button, share out the link. Gomer, tell us about how you haunt your family.
Dude, I don't know how we even got on the subject in the pre-show. Patreon exclusive. Go check that out. I guess you don't have to because I'm going to do it here anyway. But I had a recurring dream when I was younger, a recurring nightmare. And we lived in a house with a stairwell down the center of the house. And the nightmare would be there would be someone at the bottom of those stairs messing with my family. Just not really messing with them, just sort of harassing them. And I would just rush down the steps to see who this dude was, to kick his ass. And they turned around, he had a mask on. I'd rip the mask off, and it was me.
That's a Shyamalan.
Turns into Vince McMahon. It was me, Austin.
It's me, Austin.
Oh, man.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I used to have really short hair, Chad. Like, I used to be very ashamed of my naturally curly and wavy hair.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I shaved it bald.
If I could grow hair, I would definitely have it your length or longer. Yeah,
I
always wanted to, never got to.
I was shamed by long curly hair because when I grow my hair out, it naturally does little curls going down.
Not Gomer curly though, like WCW 90s heel. Curly.
Yeah. But one day, and I was very much overweight in my younger years, as Boogie can attest to.
What's so weird? He was such a nice guy when he was a fat ass.
Yeah,
so backwards.
yeah. But one day I was in a restaurant and the waitress came up and was like, "And for you, ma'am," and it was time to cut the hair, man. No more long hair. That was it. No, I did not. I wish I looked like Razor Ramon, Chad.
It's okay. It's all right.
Dude, do you buy 2 liter every day or just for ComicCast? I'm just curious.
Drinking like
it depends on what yesterday
we need to get a damn A&W sponsorship.
I drank a 2 liter of cream soda, so
sponsored by A&W.
Yeah, man, it's got aged vanilla.
Dude, I got an
exactly. Boogie can have a little thing at the bottom of the screen that says A&W with aged vanilla.
Yeah, there's no tropical oils in it. That was
sponsorship.
That was the big thing on like back in the 80s and early 90s with cereals. If you find old cereal boxes, it'll say no tropical oils. I don't remember what was so bad about tropical oils, but evidently something was bad.
Yeah.
There it is, Gomer. Does that make you happy?
There you go.
Yes.
Aged vanilla.
Aged vanilla.
There you go.
Aged vanilla.
Official.
Yeah, right. Not AIDS vanilla.
Add a little TM on the
A. AIDS vanilla. It says aged vanilla.
Yeah. I am positive.
What is
It's
going
not
on in the
aged
live
vanilla.
chat?
I am positive
So
it
lost.
says age.
Adam Hempseed, where did you find this show? Who are you? Where did you come from?
That's
love
my
you.
buddy.
Oh, it all makes
That's
sense.
my buddy
now.
Adam. Yeah, exactly.
It all makes sense.
Exactly.
It
That's
all
my
makes
pal.
sense.
It's
Shoot.
got Chad Johnson.
there
Thank
it is.
you.
Chug it.
Hey, A&W. It's what plants crave.
Oh man, thank you for the super chat, Chad Johnson, $1.99. Chug it, Adam.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's finally doing it.
Are you gonna chug that whole 2 liter?
There you go. There's a solo layout just
Oh
for you,
god dang
Adam.
it, burns.
Chug it, Adam.
I can't.
You're on camera by yourself, bro. You got to do it.
Oh, gosh.
That's a pretty good chug.
Dude,
That's what they
it burns.
pay
It
for.
burns so bad. It burns so
bet.
bad.
Feel
My
that
eyes are
heat.
watering.
Oh my
Right.
god.
That's worth
Oh.
$1.99. I like it.
I think Chad got his money's worth.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now I will say, I will boast if it was a what's not the gallon jug, but the milk jug below that,
Like a 1 liter?
1
drink?
liter or whatever. If I could do that with the buttermilk, I could chug a whole thing of buttermilk.
Oh, no
Oh,
way.
that is
Like
instant
Batman.
puking.
Like Batman.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah,
That's like
and,
Protect him from the poison.
and wash it down with a cup of V8.
Ugh.
This is what our show has become.
Dude, there was a
Wow.
good bit of comic book news this week. Like, what Krypton got canceled.
Yeah, I saw that. What happened? Because I hear
No
that
one's
the
watching
last
it. No sci-fi. What channel sci-fi?
Yeah.
Exactly. No
I
one
mean,
knows.
they're happy. Now it's a success, but they canceled that too.
Yeah.
But didn't the last episode of Krypton or the latest or whatever set up for Darkseid?
Yeah, well, I think the Doomsday.
Oh well.
And, Lobo and Brainiac are like the main bads in that or whatever. I mean, I watched the first 3 episodes and it was cool. It was kind of had like a Game of Thrones feel with the different like houses.
But you didn't watch any more after that.
No,
Catch up, and then I plan on watching that. I'm definitely going to watch on the DC app for sure. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm just trying to finish Doom Patrol right now.
yeah,
But,
this season did have Lobo and Brainiac and all
I didn't
that,
like how he
but they're setting up for Darkseid because I read a thing where a
Well, not
lady
anymore.
teleports and not anymore. But and I also hear that there was going to be a spinoff of for Lobo.
Show. Yeah, that got
that's
canceled.
canceled,
Yeah,
too. That's-
thankfully,
yeah.
Yul Carter too. So thankfully, that got canceled.
done.
Yeah,
But I want Lobo.
he looks terrible. though. You should've
I
got
liked
a
it.
dude.
I would take it.
Did you watch Krypton, Adam?
Not real. I kept.
See, that's
I
what
kept
everybody
up-
I keep hearing says.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was such a great show, and I never watched it. Well, what
Yeah.
the
No,
hell is going on?
I kept up with what was happening, but I never really watched it. But I could appreciate what they were trying to do. Like they were trying to hit as hard as they could with being a TV show, bringing in Doomsday, Brainiac, Lobo, and setting up for Darkseid. But the
Well, if only that
Parademons.
paid the bills.
Yeah. But
Brainiac looked awesome.
I would
Brainiac looked
appreciate it.
amazing. But like Lobo looked terrible. So I didn't see how Doomsday
I
looks,
thought the actor did pretty good with what he was given.
Yeah, and it had
The
like
Lobo guy looked like he was out of the '80s, which
yeah, he looked
I
like
thought
my
was
buddy that
cool.
I hang out with every now and then. He looked like a metal dude, but like I
Yeah.
wanted to see like a big bulky dude that looked like Lemmy, like
Yeah, I didn't understand his
too normal.
clothing. He had like current clothing, and when was Krypton based in? Like what would be the
Based
time
in
period on Earth?
1980s New York, because that's what they were dressed like. Like they were going to the club, going to the rock show.
There's some other like comic book news. I was trying to think.
What about the Superman and Supergirl covers, man? Gomer sent that out saying they got canceled, and I was like, ooh, because I'm pulling Superman, so I'm thinking if I get my hands on that cover,
Yeah, I saw they were going for $60.
Yeah,
that's it. I figured they would go for more than that.
That was just early, I guess. I'm not sure.
yeah. They said to burn them or throw them away or send them back.
They're actually the second news release from DC to comic book shops said that they would give them credit for it if they gave it back to them. So
Burn them while
they're
saying
shipping
Hell
them.
Hydra.
And then they're going to ship the new covers for free, right?
Yeah,
So the cover
if
covers-
people watching, if you're not don't know what we're talking about, apparently DC sent out some covers of some issues that they changed the storyline, so the art is irrelevant to the storyline. So they changed the art, the cover art, but still they had some out there. So if you can find these, try to pick them up if you can.
Yeah.
You know what the funniest part of that article was? It was like, all comic books, the cover ties directly into the story, and that's a really important thing. I'm like, what comic books are you reading?
I think
you didn't read Detective Comics this week.
Yeah, right. I think it had more to do, or The Deceased with Sergeant Rock on it. What the hell? But
totally.
I think it had more to do with the stuff at the top for the Year of the Villain tie-in. Like it's got that Apex Lex story at the back of all of them. I think those are missing the Apex Lex stories. Yeah, Yule's got the hook on this. He's got the shop. He's actually the one getting this stuff. I'm reading it second, third hand sometimes.
Yule, the real question is, did you get a copy of them?
Yeah, are you selling them?
Did you burn them?
eBay?
Or are they sitting in your safe?
He's got a secret eBay store. He's just hustling on the side.
Yeah. I can't blame him, dude. Get him where you fit in, man.
Oh, dude, no doubt.
I would have told every single person at my shop, sorry, we didn't receive this cover. And they would be sitting in a safe somewhere waiting to make money. I'm not selling them now. I'm going to sit on them for a few years and then see if I can sell them.
Yeah.
You sell half of them now while they're hot.
There you go. There you go. Just in case.
Yeah. He hasn't destroyed them yet. Cool. Good to know, Yul. I'm trying. I think there's a new Deadpool coming out. I think it's written by Kelly Sue DeConnick, I believe.
No, Kelly Thompson.
Kelly Thompson. Yes, Kelly.
Thompson.
And then new Jeff Lemire book about the girl slowly turning into a tree. That seems pretty cool.
That seems dope.
Trying to think what else, man. There was a lot of stuff that's coming out, man. I'll have to do some internet research, right? Which I should have.
You're saying that Diamond is threatening his store.
What?
That's so ridiculous.
Don't make us send the heavies over there, Yul. We'll send those comics back, or you lose your kneecaps.
What are they threatening? That he won't get any more shipments until he returns those, or whatever?
Well, when you have a monopoly.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Diamond has some old school mafia connections, like with me in the record industry. I'm serious though, because me and in the record industry, we get a lot of stuff from Scorpio, and they're like this big major distribution company, and they pretty much almost have a monopoly. They pretty much have a lot of old reissues, brand new, but they're reissues, and a lot of stuff you can't get. But yeah, they're highly mafia origins back in the day. They used to go out and close down factories and bust kneecaps and stuff. Nice. A lot of people don't know that, so it was kind of a little small fact. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
What does he have to do though? Does he have to send the whole book back, or just the covers? Or
I think proof of destruction, which would be the covers.
Holy cow! Yul Carter says in the chat they have to sign an affidavit. What the hell? The funny thing about all this is it was DC's fault.
Yeah.
So you're threatening store owners for your mistake. It's
okay, yeah, I'll sign this and guarantee I'm going to sell them on an eBay store,
under an alternate name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. Here you go, man.
I mean, I get it. They don't want that product out, but it does seem kind of. I don't know.
Maybe they
them making a big deal out of it is the reason it's selling for $60.
And why would you care what's on the cover? I'm Mr. Freeze is on Detective Comics. He's not even in there until the last 2 pages. Totally irrelevant to the story.
I was so excited
on the cover. That happens all the time. There's stuff on the cover all the time that's irrelevant to the story. So why do they care so bad about this now?
And
I think this is different because of that wording at the top, the Year of the Villain backstory that's not included.
eBay stores are being watched, but what are they going to do? Yul, you got my address, bro. You sent me that sweet you sent me that
I'll
sweet
meet you in the dark alley, bro.
Fantastic comic.
I'll be the guy wearing a trench coat with a collar up.
Man. Send it my way, bro. We'll take care
of it. I would how wide are they? I would cut each one in half and then take the staples out, glue each page together end on end, roll it up, and put it in the bathroom as toilet paper and send them pictures of it and say there.
Balls JP.
That's what I think of your affidavit, bruh.
What's up, Balls JP in the live chat? My Talking Balls co-host. I got to give him a shout out.
Oh,
great first episode. It's gonna be a good season.
JP, I fixed my microphone. We're ready to rock and roll, buddy.
It's gonna be a good season.
Yay.
Now I would
send
them and get them slabbed.
Would you though?
Man,
why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
I like
go all out.
I like Jason's idea. Sit on a few, sell a few.
Yeah, I would sell half of them while they're hot, while they're relevant, and then the other half you sit on them.
Yeah, I look back to what was it? X-Men Gold. Was it the first issue of that with all that religious political drama in it?
Yeah. In the back, whatever. Yeah.
Dude, that was our book of the week that week. That all that crap happened. Dude. And I've still got that book, but I bet it doesn't sell for anything now.
I don't know.
But at the time, it was pretty hot.
Yeah, there's this one channel I follow on YouTube, and like their whole entire shtick is like, what books? How are they priced now when they were hot 6 months ago? So every 6 months, like the current books that are hot, he makes a note of like which ones are selling for like how much and what books. And then 6 months later, it's like, are they still hot? You know what I mean? Was it worth you spending that much money back in the day? You know, yeah, it's a great theme. I wish I had his channel on hand to promote that guy. But yeah, I mean, it's out there. So I'm sure you can easily find it in search. But yeah, really interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, maybe a way around it was to be like, here's a facsimile of of this hot cover. And you put that in quotes, like this is not the real thing, you know, in your eBay store to get around it. Yeah, I'm not sure, what channel it is. I mean, I can maybe go through my subscriptions and find out before the show's over. But
like selling Megatron, you can't sell Megatron.
Dude, we got a bunch of books to go over this week. Should we just jump into them?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot, bro. Yeah, whatever you want to do, man.
It's my thing.
Yo, I can do this all day. All right,
Boogie, you're the one that has to Google the writers, so you decide.
I'm the one who knocks. I'm the one who Googles the writers.
Is there anything else worth discussing? If there is, we can talk about it. If not, we can jump into it.
I want to know how many people went and bought in game.
I bought it digitally.
I bought the digital weeks ago, man. I've seen it a dozen times.
I'm going to be doing a live commentary on Comic Core next Saturday with Cat Figures.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
have you watched the commentary? Or
I'm going to, because I'm in the middle of watching the regular one, and then I'm going to watch the commentary. I saw the beginning where I guess the daughter, Hawkeye, whatever people were speculating, is actually one of the producer's daughters. So I heard like the first 10 seconds, and then I was like, nah, I want to watch the regular first, and then. So
did you see it? Did you see it in theaters, Jason?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was all over. Does Hawkeye have a dog? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great question, because in the comics, Hawkeye's got a dope dog, the pizza dog or whatever.
His dog's name is Speedy.
Speedy, that's cute.
In the comics, isn't this the name of the dog who stole a pizza or some shit? Pizza boy.
What? Dog. No. I was saying Speedy, like Green Arrows.
Oh.
Get it?
No.
God damn.
I like the commentary. The commentary was really interesting, and they got into some good information. So
I want to watch it for sure. Definitely.
Great.
That was fun.
That was.
Yay!
The real quick, the wrestler, the Fiend. I'm sorry, it's a little off.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, so my buddies, I mean, I would not say like they're homies, but like, we know each other, acquaintances, I should say. Code Orange, the guys who made the theme of the Fiend. They used to be called Code Orange Kids back in the day, but yeah, they grew. Yeah, now they're just Code Orange. I think they're signed on Roadrunner Records, but they made the theme for the Fiend. But like those guys are huge wrestling fanatics, and it was really cool because I guess like to hear that they made the theme, because they're always stoked in wrestling. They go to like every like pay-per-view they can whenever they're like coming to town. And so it's really to see this like huge success with these guys happening. And on Spotify, I guess apparently it's like the most streamed song like this like past month. So
you don't even watch wrestling, right?
No, but he seems really cool. I was like, that makes me want to watch it, because apparently I hear it's like a guy that has like multiple personalities or characters, kind of like Cactus Jack and like all that.
See, it was kind of goofy because it's Bray Wyatt is who it is. And he was so good when he debuted in WWE. Well, when he came back. Anyway, that's a long story. I'm not going into wrestling talk, but so he came back and he's doing like Pee-wee's Playhouse. And it's
like, this is like a Mr. Rogers guy here.
I was like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. And then they introduced the Fiend, and it's like, this guy's dope, man.
Cool.
This dude is so horrifying.
So bad now. Like,
and that music was so, because he debuted it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I just assumed, because WWE, they got everybody on the payroll. I just assumed that their music guy created it. It was so perfect music.
Band Code Orange, they've done like so many like huge festivals and huge tours. And they're like when they started Code Orange Kids, their band used to open up for like one of my old bands like all the time.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
that is awesome.
Yeah, they were actual kids. Like when I talked to them, like from the get-go, they were like I think 14. They've been doing this for a while. I want to say they're like 22, 23 now. around there, I think. But yeah, they got signed to Death Wish, which is like
my kids
label, and they're on Roadrunner now. But yeah, they're doing
you
great.
beat your kids, Gaumer, so they can't do anything.
Beat them more. These kids are at the bottom of the stairs, opening for Jason.
That's what you want your kid to do, is open a concert for
do
Jason?
Something, anything besides the nothing they're doing.
Maybe they can create Adam's theme song.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, the Adam Show with that pick I made for the Adam Show.
All right,
my theme song. Whoa. For what?
No, the other. For wrestling.
The other
Are you alive? I was talking about you in wrestling. Event Leviathan, number 3. Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev, Josh Reed on the letters.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome. So, quick blurb. Leviathan has taken out the major pillars of world intelligence. Green Arrow and Batgirl survived one attack. Batgirl was offered a place in Leviathan, and Superman survived a kidnapping. These events have assembled the greatest group of detectives in the DC universe, and Damian Wayne has reason to believe that Jason Todd, the Red Hood, is behind it all.
Of course.
This picked up right where we left off on the rooftop, kind of. I mean, there was some little stuff before, but I like that they jump right back into it. A lot of action, mixed with Lois Lane questioning Red Hood, who admits he's the perfect guy, man. He says, I'm the perfect guy for this whole thing, and that's why I'm being set up. And I like that. He brought up a good point in that whole conversation. If Leviathan has the DEO, Spiral, Argus, all these intelligence agencies, then they have everything, including all of the connections to these superheroes.
We've already lost, is what he's pretty much said.
They've got Jason's connection to Bruce and the knowledge and ability to pit them all against each other. I like that aspect of the story. I don't know what's going on with Amanda Waller. You know,
I hate that they're like, oh, maybe it's Amanda Waller again. And she's like, yeah, there's a bug under like the bed, which hides from Kryptonian technology. Okay.
That was so stupid, man, because Superman brings her to the fortress to protect her, and then she sneaks out, but she's magically spying on the fortress. It's like, give me a break. It didn't make any sense. And the book ends with her being face to face with Leviathan. And it's Bendis, man. It's just
brought out like that Leviathan's technology that it uses, I guess makes people like be influenced for some reason.
Stupid twist.
Out of fear for some reason.
It's a stupid twist, man.
Got a weird technology that I guess.
That's so weird.
I don't know.
Just why?
He's riding himself in a hole, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like riding it on the fly, I think is what's happening.
That's exactly how it feels. Riding it on the fly. Because there's some good stuff here. There's some good stuff that could make this a great event. And then there's some annoying stuff that's like, I don't even want to read this anymore.
Apparently Batgirl hasn't been seen. Is the stuff that's going on in Batgirl currently connected to this at all?
No, I'm seeing rumors. The big rumors I'm seeing, the 3 main suspects are Green Arrow, Batgirl, and let me look my notes.
Green Arrow's not smart enough.
And Lois Lane. Lois Lane was the 3rd suspect.
That was who I called first. That was one of my first.
I don't think it's going to be any of those people as Leviathan.
Guesses, really.
There's probably going to be some new character. I don't know. I don't think
it can't be a new character. That'd be stupid.
Do you know how pissed people are going to be if it's like Batgirl? They're going to be so pissed.
Yeah. It's
I want it to be Batman and like him. This is all a bait and switch. He's like, yeah, I'll help you guys find out. Oh, it's Jason. Yeah, let's go get. You're right, Damian. Let's go get him.
Superman. Make him more interesting because Bendis doesn't know what to do with him.
That's never going to happen.
Dude, if they did, Bendis would get chased out of the industry.
That'd be amazing. He loves pissing people off.
Oh, my gosh.
On purpose all the time.
Who can it be, though? Who can he possibly make this be that people are going to be satisfied? People are going to be so pissed no matter what.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I kind of like, it was the typical Bendis thing to flash forward and then flash back to exactly where you were in the previous issue, because that's what he did here. They were all done with that fight that ended the last issue, and then they flashed back to where this issue should have started. That's typical Bendis.
I didn't mind that though. I like that.
No, I liked it. It's just it's Bendis. I think that's how we have to review this book. It's Bendis.
Won't be long till we're saying it's Cates. It's just what Cates does.
Exactly, dude. When it's Donny Cates, it's like, okay, this was kind of bad because it wasn't typical Donny Cates. Because this is typical Bendis, it's like the opposite. We have to kind of give him a curve.
We haven't gotten there yet. Everybody's going to turn heel on Cates. It's coming, man. It's coming.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I read absolutely.
It's coming, dude. It's coming. Yeah, you also read Bendis' Daredevil run, and it was great.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, Absolute Carnage will eventually be a long time ago. Welcome to ComicCast 1372.
Yeah, where we hate on Donny
Donny
Cates.
Cates should be fired. That should be the name of this podcast.
He's ruining DC Comics.
That should be the title, Kate.
No.
Donny Cates should be fired from DC Comics.
I'm trying to make controversy. Flames. I love it.
But it was
Nobody else thinks
issue.
our jokes are funny.
Hey, I'm laughing. It was a fun issue, though. I mean, it's what I expected. It's what I expected.
Chad Johnson says no Donny Cates slander in the live chat. Shout out to Chad Johnson. He won I think it was a free autographed copy of Absolute Carnage #1 for doing dope shit. And he was on a skateboard. I don't know nothing about a skateboard. Is it an ollie? He's jumping a skateboard with Absolute Carnage in his hand. I also gave him a free, what was it? Silver Surfer Black #3.
Did you sign it? It was signed by you, Boogie?
No. Signed by Donny Cates, man.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Down. Is it though? Is it though?
You look like a bassist. I don't know how you should
I
take
know
that.
that. I was like, oh, whatever.
looks like
You look undateable is how I read that.
Right.
Not very talented. Not very talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You look like you've ruined a lot of bands.
Yeah,
That sounds like
a close pedal, and that's all.
That sounds like a bassist comment from a
Oh,
guitar supremacist.
Hey, that's bassist. Bro.
Oh, there you go, Chad.
Yeah,
I'm
don't be-
sorry. I take it all back. Thanks for the $2 you dropped earlier.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to leave a super chat, feel free to do so.
And then I can talk shit on you later in the show. Actually,
we can make Adam do random
Hey, for
things.
insults.
yeah, just throw random insults accidentally. But yeah, Event Leviathan, I'm still on because I want to see who the hell it is, and I know I'm not going to find out to the end.
I just enjoy the art, honestly.
Oh, dude, yeah, Motley
the
is
action.
killing
And it's
it.
really weird. Like they all left chasing Jason Todd, the Red Hood, at the same time, and then all of a sudden, when he's on the ground, they like meet up at different times to like talk with him and stuff. It's like, don't you guys see like what's happening?
Yeah.
And, like, why is Green Arrow like watching from afar from like the discussion that Lois Lane is having with Red Hood too? It's like, let's go up and be like, what the hell are you doing? You know, like
how can all those superheroes? How can all those superheroes not take down Red Hood?
Yeah, is Jason Todd that badass? He must be, obviously. Bendis said so. He's got to be.
He knows all, man.
They better not fight Catwoman because he's gonna have some trouble with
Just goes to show what a good beating by a crowbar can do for you.
It is. It is. That's why I beat my kids. I'm making them better.
Dude, you got to stop. This is going to be evidence to take you down.
It really will. It really will.
Hey, let's move on to something that's way better than this. Let's talk about Black Hammer Justice League #2.
All right.
Dose.
All right.
Jeff Lemire. I'm trying to think what happened.
MEA.
Yeah. All right. So
Jason's like that waiter that comes to take your order, and there's 17 people at the table, and he's like, "Oh, I don't need to write it down. I can remember it."
Yeah, I'll remember it, and then you come back like, "I'm sorry, what's this?"
Yeah.
As I drop my deck of cards on the floor, that's fantastic. Yeah. So that Captain Weird meets up with the Green Lantern Corps. That's how the last issue ended. So they try to capture him, and he's like, "Oh wow, there's so much green." And he's like, "Yeah, we need you to come in, take you in." And he's like, "All right, well, this is really cool, but I'll see you later, peace." And he like floats out.
He does say, "Oh wow, there's so much green."
Wow, there's so much green. All right, I have to go now. And he's like transports away, and there you go. I guess they chase him down. I guess they found his energy signature, and Captain Weird explains more like what's going on. What was more interesting was it shows Superman and Batman, and they feel like they've been there for 10 years. We know it's only been a day, but they're all under their perception that they've been there for 10 years, and that was really cool. So they're all like kind of Batman's patrolling the city for no reason. The sheriff's giving him a hard time. He's saying, "Hey man, there's nothing going on. Just go home."
He's busting cow tippers, man.
Yeah, he's busting cow tippers. He's like, "I'm tired of telling you to go home. Like, can you please stop this?" And Superman's like, "Give it up." And then Batman's like, "You gave up," And Superman's like, "No, I didn't give up. I miss Lois." All the Bizarro people. Yeah, that's right. You saw Bizarro Black Hammer characters, dude. That was awesome. That was really cool seeing that. Those Bizarro characters kind of captured or were attacking Captain Weird, and then the Green Lantern, saved him and took it away. And he's like, "Oh, this construct is amazing." And then he's like, just transports out of it. So he's constantly kind of outsmarted the Green Lanterns. And then he showed him that I guess that whatever universe behind the door. I forget what it's called. You know, Gummer?
Yeah,
The Parazone.
The Parazone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
How about you ask me, bro? I run this shit.
I mean, and you're the more the Black Hammer guy than me. You've
Okay.
read more of it than I have.
I thought both of you were. All right. Well,
show some respect when you come to this place.
Put some respect on it. Put some respect on it. But yeah, dude, it was awesome, man. I love this issue. I'm loving this Black Hammer universe crossover. It's so cool. And you saw like the Black Hammer characters fighting all the Starros back in the DC universe, and all their cuss words are being edited out. They're like, "What's going on?"
He's Golden Gale.
Yeah, how great was that, man?
Golden
Gale.
Dude, it's such a cool little thing to put in there.
Dude, I love this. I can't wait for more, man. It's going to read not only great in trade, but it's fun to read issue to issue, man.
Yeah,
I highly recommend this.
Hanger, the whole Flash thing.
Oh man. Surely what is this, a 5-issue miniseries?
I think so.
He has to go back next issue and show us what happened to Barry Allen.
Yes.
Has to.
I so hope so. It felt like this was building a little bit more.
It's the same way like Black Hammer.
A lot of great moments, though.
Yeah,
a lot of great moments, like you said. But it's that cliffhanger, man. Where is what happened to the Flash? I need to know.
I mean, apparently he's the one who tried to run outside the borders.
I mean, didn't that happen in Black Hammer #1? When they got sucked in, somebody tried to leave and they got screwed.
That was Black Hammer's grave for trying to leave. He was like the strongest, the best of them, and he tried to leave. But the reality of it in like volume 2, or maybe it was the Age of Doom series, you find out they were like on a spaceship, and it was them leaving the spaceship outside their safe barriers, and they died. So it's like, how does that work with this? It doesn't really, but then again, all this is make-believe and made up because Mr.
At least that's who we think it is, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's got to be who it is.
Gotta be. So, I mean, it's still fun to go along for the ride, take it for what it is, but it's fantastic.
It was also great to have the Black Hammer guys, when they first get into the DC universe, fight Starro, because that's who the Justice League fought in Justice League #1. This is a cool throwback. Which is what Black Hammer is. It's an homage to the golden silver age of comics. So
yeah, Chad is right. Jeff Lemire can do no wrong, honestly. I've never read a bad Jeff Lemire book.
You know, I thought about Jeff Lemire when I was reading the opening to this book. Yeah, I love Black Hammer. I love the universe. I love everything about it. One thing, when they announced it, back when they first announced Black Hammer, I wasn't sold on it, man. Because I've said a million times on this show, if I'm going to read superheroes, I want to read the big two. That's what I want to read. I want to read Superman and Captain America and Spider-Man and Batman. I don't want to read some created superhero.
Sure.
But once I got into it, I love this world. So what I was thinking about as I opened this book, and it's like you talked about Bruce, patrolling the city, and Clark's back on the farm. I just want to get in Jeff Lemire's head. I think his plan was to create this whole big universe. That was probably his end goal from the beginning. But what if he thought about pitching this story arc to DC, that the DC superheroes get stuck on this farm? It could have very easily been a DC storyline, but instead he's created this huge universe for Dark Horse.
Sort of like how Watchmen came about, how DC gave Alan Moore a bunch of these characters that they loved, and was like, no, you can't do this. So then he changed them all to these old charlatan characters. I could see that.
I think this is just, I think Black Hammer in general is just a genius idea. Just because, I mean, you can have, sure, there's characters that are like very similar, like Martian Manhunter, and also, Barb Alien. They're both Martians. And this,
dude, you all know Martians are red.
Perfect. It was perfectly thrown together. That's what I want out of this book. Those cool moments where they're talking about comic book stuff in the context of being in a comic book. You know what I mean?
He's like a genius is because not only can you have those like straight up like homages to characters, but you can also have amalgamations of new characters as well, but there's still tributes to different eras of comic books. So you have Golden Age characters, you have Silver Age characters, you have modern day characters, and it gives you this opportunity to write a whole entire world from every age and combine it into one series. And I said this before on the show too. It's like Gideon Falls. He's like has these different lands. He has like different territories. You can write all these different stories in the same universe. It's just brilliant.
Dude, I'm going to talk about that later because of all the drama I had. We didn't talk about random reviews, but we're talking about some Gideon Falls.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
We always cover what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, man. We'll just wing it. I like winging it. Adam, did you read this?
I did. I thought I don't know much about Black Hammer, so I'm kind of just learning about these characters now. I thought Gale hitting on Aquaman was funny.
He's like, don't look at me like that. Stop looking at me like that.
And that Dr. Weird was pretty funny.
He's been called Captain Weird and Dr. Weird. He is Colonel Weird.
Colonel Weird, or
come to the expert, bro. You don't have to ask Homer.
Whatever.
You're the pro.
I'm pretty sure he suffers from ADD. So on that level, me and him communicate. So
it's ADD on a level of like his environment has caused him that. Like how he knew Jon Stewart's name, and John's like, I don't think I told you the name. He's like, yeah, you will. It's just so well done. Yeah.
He's kind of like he's almost like Dr. Manhattan. In the context of Dr. Manhattan can see the future and the past and all of that. And but whatever. I mean, it's fun. I feel like the issue is short, but
it went by fast. You're right.
Yeah, and it's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely recommend reading from the beginning, just because once you have like understanding of these characters ahead of time, just seeing this crossover is really exciting. And I was super excited to see Colonel Weird meet with the Green Lanterns in the end of the last issue, and then have it expand in this one. He's very similar as a Green Lantern.
So Adam, does this make you more interested in reading the Black Hammer universe? Because I'm sure doing this team up with DC is part of Jeff Lemire's strategy to get people to buy his other Black Hammer stuff.
Get that
the characters are definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And have personality, and you can see that Lemire brings that personality to each of them. It just in the little bit you get in this comic, you get their personality.
Great.
So I think absolutely it piques my interest to possibly down the road pick it up.
Adam will know more about Black Hammer than Boogie.
But what I want to see, I want to see Bruce Wayne just losing it because he can't do his Batman stuff really. So so we end up with Bat-Cow. Like he's running around with his partner Bat-Cow. Or a cow dressed up like Robin or something. That would be fun. No one else is laughing, so I know it's humorous in my mind. But there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. This is going to be. Oh wait, no, sorry, I almost jumped ahead.
Did you?
Yeah, I almost skipped Punisher Kill Krew, but let's talk about Punisher Kill Krew.
Oh, we doing that first?
Do you want to? Do you want to do White Trees first?
I don't care.
White Trash.
I just have it in order. I have White Trees next.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I screwed everything up when the book of the week won at the last second. Let's talk about White Trees. We can do that. This is going to be a weird chat. It's going to be fun.
Dude, I got to like 6 pages of this.
I prefer green trees, but we'll talk about white trees.
Wait, Jason, what?
So I got like through 6 pages of this, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm just not a fantasy guy. Because I love the writer. He's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, then you didn't get to the good panel.
You didn't get to the awesome.
No, I heard about it in the chat. I was like, oh my god! So that makes me want to read it. Plus,
man, those later panels are so good. They could put an eye out.
Yeah, it's only
stop.
That makes me want to like. Oh, man, now I gotta read it.
Stop.
All right, keep going.
Go.
This is White Trees. What number
Jason
one.
just said, though, what Jason just said is very key when we get into talking about this.
I thought I wasn't a fantasy guy, but like, I love Die. Die's amazing. So
that's
like
a little different.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have been this complicated. It should not have been this complicated.
I don't want to learn all. Yeah, as soon as I open the page,
love a map.
Like a whole
I love a good map in a book.
I don't want to like learn all these territories, all those fantasy characters. Like, maybe I was too tired. I'll give it another shot later.
You could tattoo a map on some of those things in the later panels,
dude.
they almost look like Florida.
This is a Black Sand tale. Part 1. This is Death. Chip Zdarsky, Chris Anka doing the art. Full frontal art. Matt Wilson got the color. And Ditya Bidikar did the letters. Really good job with the lettering. A lot of great word accents on a lot of the
there were letters on the pages.
See? This opens with a map, which again is
It was
always
a huge map.
Always a good sign in a fantasy book. Basically, this is a story about a guy named Krylos, who's a former hero, soldier, turned pacifist after his wife died during the war. And he's forced to team up with some of his old allies after there's a kidnapping. Krylos' son and his estranged former comrade-in-arms daughter have been seeing each other unbeknownst to them. And this is that adventure. let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Zdarsky just throws you into this fantasy world of swords, sorcery, humans, cat people, epic wars, and yes, obviously you can bang just whoever you want because there is 3 or 4 pages of what appears to be sort of sirens, like sirens who were tempting the adventurers to, forget their adventure and take part in a siren orgy. That's what's happening here. But beyond that, it's just your basic fantasy story. A couple of guys, old war vets, teaming back together on a new adventure. And yeah, that's basically it. It was okay. I didn't have a problem with this at all. I liked it.
This made Saga look like Mr. Rogers.
I mean,
the elephant in the room. Everybody's just all of a sudden naked and going at it, and it made no sense to me.
Those were the sirens. There were sirens like trying to stop them. That's the way I took it. Like, the sirens from the Odyssey who were singing, and
it just felt like
homeboy.
It felt like shock value to me. Is what it felt like to me.
The
story. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, if that was what they were going for, it could have been done in fewer panels.
Yeah.
People are smart enough. They would have caught on what was going on, and then they could have progressed the story past it.
And I'm not about to say that Chip Zdarsky didn't want there to be some dongs in his book. Obviously, he did.
A lot of
He wrote 6 criminals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I saw it too. But for me, it goes back to what Jason said. This book was not very good from the beginning.
Yes,
I had a hard time getting into it, and I like the idea of it. I like the idea of these guys that went to war together, and now their kids. It seems like are in a relationship that they don't want.
Yeah,
and they've been kidnapped. So it's like you're coming back together. I like it. It just felt like, oh my gosh, this could have been done in 2 pages, and instead I'm reading. Putting the book down. I'm like, I don't. This is awful. Reading
that book wasn't compelling enough for me to continue. And I never put books down, like ever. I have to know what happens. Maybe I was just really tired, and I was just like, okay, right away.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I was like, all right, I don't want to know.
I didn't mind this. The art was cool. The realm that we were in, although we don't know a lot about it, seems to be have a compelling history at least that hinges on what's going on with the characters. The part with the dragon where Krylo steps up to the dragon and just let freeze.
That was the best part of the book.
That was awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot of great things I can take away from this, but I completely agree with you. The 3 pages of crazy siren orgy was thrown in for shock value.
I think he's like a master at writing like soap opera dramas. So I'm like really surprised this didn't engage me because I really, really love his like soap opera kind of Daredevil. And also his Invaders is the same way too. Invaders is amazing.
There was some invading going on.
Yeah,
so I'm really surprised this didn't hook me because I had high hopes for it. And
I mean, if I want to connect it all to the story, he could be trying to, in an over-the-top sort of way, really push the fact that Krylos has no passion left in his heart at all. Because while everybody was breaking down into this orgy, Krylos was just sort of standing there, just letting it happen around him. It wasn't really affecting him at all.
He had a happy.
And like he has some ED, I guess, going on. But
he had a floppy cop.
Yeah, floppy cop.
Dude, there was one point. Okay, I was reading this in bed. My daughter was at
place to read it, bro.
My daughter was at the foot of the bed watching YouTube, and my wife was watching TV, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like reading it, and I'm like, what is happening? And then like I'm trying to get through it kind of quick, but read what's going on, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got that in his hand, like full grasp.
Oh my god!
The panel with whatever the big red thing was, the big red.
It was big and it was red.
It was a demon looking. I was like, well, I just saw it, and I was like, well, I guess the devil needs to make a little extra money. I guess somehow. Yeah, he's
Red Rocket, bro.
Let's get Red Rocket trending on Twitter. I can't even talk.
That's a dog thing.
It's
a
fire, man.
Right in the chat. Yeah, I'm putting it for you guys in the chat. There you go.
But I mean, I like this a whole lot more before the show. Before we started talking about it.
I would say.
Wow.
I would say.
That's beautiful.
Wow. I would say if this was seriously, if this was something I wanted to read, that just based on what this first issue had, this would be a trade weight.
Yeah, it's only two issues. It's only two.
Oh, it's only 2 issues.
Yeah, that's another problem I'm having with.
That's
the
why
way Chip Zdarsky decided to build.
Be over next issue, so I didn't even care off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
exactly.
Why don't they just do an oversized 1 issue then?
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. Why is this a two issue
graphic novel? Boom, that's it. You're done. Like you say, graphic novel, Chip Zdarsky, like fantasy. I'm like, dude, I'm in. I'll buy that.
Exactly.
Sure, I'll check it out. Like 2 issues. I'm like, why should I care to learn all his characters, all his history for 2 issues and be done? Like,
yeah.
I wonder if he's going to keep bringing them back and do it like 2 issues at a time.
Yeah,
something
right.
Well, he
like
does,
that.
and that's why I had it in my notes. He does call it a black sand tale. So perhaps he will go back to this universe where everybody just seems to bang. You want to bang a cat, people? Go ahead, bang a cat.
Yeah, and everyone knows. Everybody knows. You never put the orgy in the first issue. That's a writer's faux pas. That is
if you're
a
going
writing
to, you
faux
do it as a
pas.
cliffhanger, like, oh man, there might be an orgy in the next issue.
Or start off with that.
Yeah.
Adam's getting analytical, breaking down writing techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to just you know dangle that in front of people.
Dude, wasn't dangling, dude. It's just right there in your face. Wasn't dangling.
And literally in their faces.
Oh God.
And hands too.
I gotta read this.
It was like walk hard when the dude asks him if he wants some coffee. If you don't know what scene I'm talking about, go walk.
Stand around.
It's like right there beside his face. Hey man, you want some coffee?
Yeah.
You know, he's talking to his dad. He's still standing there in the background. You can see it. That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it.
Well, that's white trees. The trees are white because the war scared them white.
White trees.
Is that why?
As we transition here, we got 13. We got 13 listeners in the live chat. Do us a favor, smash that like button, share out the link. If you feel so obliged, drop a super chat. It will go right back into promoting this podcast. We definitely appreciate that. We've got more in the last 3 weeks since Gaumer just poured himself out and said, "Guys, give us money."
Thanks for asking.
Hit that super chat. We really
do
appreciate it.
Why those white trees have sap all over them?
Oh, no.
Man, trying to get some funds coming in, and Adam's making dick jokes.
He is.
Punisher, Kill Krew, #1.
Man,
Punisher.
Kill Krew.
In a world. So, we get. Punisher Kill Krew #1. I was thinking about those white trees. Written by
it sticks with you.
Written by Jerry Dugan.
Duggan.
Duggan. It is Duggan.
It's Gary Duggan. Or
So
is it
it is
Jerry Duggan.
It is Hacksaw Jerry Duggan.
Oh.
Art by Juan Fiera. And letters by VC's Corey Petit.
Corey.
I was waiting on that.
Thanks, Corey.
Okay. So we get a War of the Realms recap at the beginning in regards to how the Punisher fits into all this. And in the course of things, Frank the Punisher decides to take care of these kids who were orphaned by their parents being killed by all these realm creatures. So he has the kids draw the monsters that killed their parents. And he's going to go after them all and kill them all. And what happens after that is we get a Skyrim modded Punisher with a cool helmet. And we get the Punisher van hooked up to a giant goat. And he's going to take on all these creatures that killed these kids' parents. Because Punisher's got a heart. So that was the gist of this first one.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun, simple little comic. I mean, nothing big in it. And it just had some fun stuff, like where he took that skeleton monster's helmet, and then he meets up with the giant Thor's giant goat to help get him to where these creatures are. And
his name's probably like Gotenheim or something.
Gotenheim. Because I thought
nothing on Gotenheim.
Like, there was nothing
like Adam.
Like, was it there Thor Jotunheim? Was it there Tooth Gnasher? But was that a different?
I don't know. Sounds about right though.
Sounds about
nothing. No Gotenheim though.
So I mean, it's not a bad book. I mean, like I said,
you know what this reminded me of?
Yeah. What's that?
Evil Dead: Army of Darkness.
Oh, I see.
It had this sort of fantasy violence backed up with comedy, you know, here and there. Like he takes the kids to go get pizza. Come on, that's not Punisher. That's out of character. It's wonderful. I loved it. So yeah, there were some great things in this. But no, I'm not going to continue to read it.
You know why it's a hard sell though? Matthew Rosenberg's Punisher.
Yeah,
I'm not going to read 2 Punisher books, and Matthew Rosenberg's killing it. But I had fun with this, man. I enjoyed it. You know, we're getting ready to talk about The Watcher, which is a $6 book, and Gaumer said it's not good. Don't read it. And so I went and read Punisher Kill Krew instead, and I enjoyed it. But my complaint is going back to what I said about Vampirella a few weeks ago. This was 20 pages. I read it digitally, and it's 20 pages. One was the cover, one was the credits page, one was Stanley's soapbox, and one was a preview for issue number 2. So this is a 16-page story. That's nuts, man. That's not worth $4. It's not worth $4.
The trade will be better if it's cheaper. And like you said, there's not enough meat on the bone. Even if they had filled those 16 pages with more, it still really wouldn't have been enough for sort of a wrap and a continuation of an event that I really didn't give a crap about anyway. You know?
Yeah. For me, I think it's like I'm kind of tired of all the War of the Realms stuff. Like we did it. And like, why do we got
halfway through? I was sick of it.
But I kind of like the aftermath of it. I hate an event ends and it's like, all right, everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
I kind of like this idea.
That's what I want.
But I kind of like this idea that there are these orphans, and it's not a tale of who's going to take care of them. It's a tale of who's going to get revenge for these kids that lost their parents. I like that aspect, but I don't know if it's more that or if it's more this one guy that Punisher's seeking revenge for.
Yeah, and there's also like no reason for him to like pick up and wear that skull helmet. You know, I don't know.
And that just seemed like comedy to me. Like they were adding it in there just to be funny.
Yeah, it's okay.
My thoughts are exactly what Boogie just said in that I like this premise, but I don't care about War of the Realms. Yeah. So it's kind of like I wish they could have come up with this premise in a different way that separated it from War of Realms. Because I think it's cool, and with the orphans, you got the Runaways dynamic in there as well.
Yeah, where these kids gonna go now?
We won't see those kids ever again.
I know, but the opportunity is there.
Sure.
Instead of him just saying, "Hey, remember that very traumatic thing you experienced? Here, relive it. Draw me a picture."
Yeah, Draft Jaws in the chat brings up a good point. He said, disappointed that Kill Krew was not his squad from the last kind of researchers that it was Black Widow, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider. I want that book, and I do too. That sounds way. I think
that's Eli from the Bullies.
I thought he was talking about the prisoners. I was like, oh, he killed all them.
Rosenberg was commenting on that on Twitter though, because he was like, guys, I know I pay attention to when you tell me who you like seeing interact with Punisher. So give us some Moon Knight, because that was great.
Can we go back and just talk about the Rosenberg Punisher for about 20 minutes instead of Kill Krew?
Let's do it, man.
Oh man,
I'm done with Kill Krew. Let's move on.
I want to see more of that team.
Yeah,
Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
his run just gets better. I remember going all the way back to when he was in the armor, and everybody was like, "This is stupid. I'm not reading it." I'm like,
"You said it was stupid. You said it's a stupid premise, but you can't read enough of it." Yeah,
oh, man, dude, I love it. You give Punisher the ultimate weapon. You know what I mean, dude? You turn him into a human tank. It's like, oh my god, dude, he just annihilated everyone. It was amazing. It's exactly what I wanted to see. If anything, it was so bloody and violent. I was so excited to see every issue. Just as it continues. Like the art got better.
Once Kudransky took over, that's when the book skyrocketed. Dude.
God, it's awesome.
I love it.
I think he's my artist of the year. I know it's early.
He's on my list, man. He's all over.
He very well.
How can you argue? How can you argue Andrea Sorrentino, man?
Right.
Especially once that Joker book comes out and you've got more than Gideon Falls and some other stuff that go on. I know he did some more of the Realm stuff too, but
yeah, I think it was like 3 or 4 pages in one of those. Like, I don't know.
What's Kudransky getting ready to take over?
He's
Action
on
Comics.
Action.
Action Comics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thrash Jaws. We need some more video game videos. Come on now.
Stop.
I think that's Eli.
Yeah,
it is Eli.
Oh, it's Eli.
Yeah.
Oh,
Leroy's doing them videos.
Leroy doesn't watch our videos. He just listens to see if we talk about him.
Yeah,
we know that.
I think Eli listens and he tells him, "Yeah, they mentioned you on that." show.
It's kind of like you guys telling me to listen to them, and I go try to find what they talk about. I'm just kidding. I do try to listen. I've not listened in a while though, man. I need to.
They mention ComicCast every episode.
It's football season, bro. I'm trying to get caught up for talking balls.
Talking balls. Yeah, they mentioned talking balls.
Video games. Yeah, they mentioned how much I hate everything.
There you go. How about that? There you go. There's. Follow us on Twitter.
Nice. Yeah.
Let's move on. I didn't read this one, so you guys let me know. This. You guys were talking about this before we went live, and this is what it's going to be. It's going to be Jason versus Gaumer. Convince me if I should read this or not read it. So let's get into it. The Watcher.
One sec. Yeah, I think you should absolutely read this. I mean, it's worth a read. I thought it was better than White Trees or whatever.
That's not saying much, bro.
All right, story by Ralph Tedesco, writer is Victoria Rao, artwork by Julius Abrera, colors Fran Gamboa, letters Carlos and Mangual. Yeah, dude. So this girl has like sleep apnea or what's it called?
Night terrors.
Not really nightmares though. It's like it's not sleep apnea, but
right.
What's it called? God damn.
Snoring.
No, that's not sleep apnea. It's like when you like sleep paralysis. There you go, sleep paralysis. Because I used to have sleep paralysis too, like for a good while.
I've had it too. It's freaky.
I was gonna say I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with sleep paralysis at all, but like,
oh, I am.
It's like you're asleep, but you're like consciously awake. You know, it's almost like you're in a sleep mode, but like you're awake, and you can like kind of see around you. And usually there's like a shadowy figure in the corner. And sometimes, most of the time, it ends up with you like not being able to breathe, but you can't move. You're like paralyzed. You can't talk. You can't move, and it terrifies you because you can't do anything. You're just like stuck, no matter how hard you try. I've gone through so much sleep paralysis where like you like all of a sudden like sit up because you can like, finally move, you know, or like you like find yourself trying to scream and you end up going like,
I've
like someone wakes you up.
I've had it a few times, and I've never really seen like, well, people get the visuals.
Yeah,
I've never seen stuff, but I've definitely heard things.
I've had it plenty of times where like someone's like right there, some image, and I got to the point where like it was like gonna stab me or something, and like I was like I just didn't care. I was like, yeah, sure, like just do whatever. And then after that, like I stopped having sleep paralysis. You know, so like I don't know, maybe that's the cure, is just let it happen. Let the aliens take over.
Now
right?
I feel bad for all my terrible comments.
it happened.
Stick to your guns, Gaumer. Fight for the right.
Yeah. One time it happened to me at work, and
that's where I sleep. That's where I do most of my sleep.
No, I was at
happening.
I was at a news station, and I was I laid my head down on like a stool thing, and it happened, and all I remember is I was hearing what sounded like witches cackling. And that's all that's what I was hearing. It was like witches cackling.
Chad Johnson wants to know if it happens more as you get older. And he says this is directed at Adam, the living fossil.
That's awesome.
That was our live chat suddenly turned on Adam.
It's awesome.
He's the villain. I'll mute him. I'll mute him for a $5 super chat. I'll mute that son of oh my gosh. Hey, I'll mute myself for a $10 super chat.
Back in my day,
so this
a super chat meant you got iced tea on the porch.
So this girl is having sleep paralysis, and apparently like she lives in like a Christian household. Her father's a preacher, and they bought this house, and there's rumored that this like house is haunted or something. There's something going on. Only a family prior has been in there for like, I think they lived there max like a month or two before like running out of there. So this house has a history, and so right away she like has this thing happen to her at night, this like nightmares, and then so it goes into her life. She goes at school, and she's like a hot girl. She's hanging with like the hot girl crew. Looks like I guess maybe a Catholic school, I want to say, or at least a private school because everyone's in like uniforms and stuff. And I feel like this comic is almost made to be like a TV show, almost like Riverdale or like a movie or something. But the art was good. You know, I really dig the art. So the colors are really good too. I know sometimes they look goofy. The father is like super protective. They have like a sleepover, and one girl sneaks out and goes to a party. One of her other friends sleeps over, stays with her for the sleepover. They notice there's a neighbor keeps like peeping at him, and you know this guy's going to be like their savior or hero, or give them the inside information like later on. He's like just kind of stereotypical. You kind of know it's
like
going to happen.
Home Alone.
Exactly.
Like Home Alone.
Right. They're like, this guy's a creep, or whatever, but you know he's going to end up being a good guy or whatever. Mom brings him some treats. Yeah, whatever. One girl sneaks out. So anyways, this girl like ends up having like a fit during the night. And I thought this part was really cool. You can see like this like sigil like underneath the bed. And who knows if it's still there, because the one girl checked under the bed later on but didn't see anything. But that'd be tight if that was there. And honestly, if you notice like the sigil of what it looks like, at the end, the last page, the bodies are laid out in the same exact style.
Yeah.
But this dude looks awesome. I loved how this guy looked, man. He's a super evil, super cool. I thought the art was really good in this, like considering for not knowing who these people or you know, writer or artists were. In my
was the interior artist the same as the cover? I thought the cover was great.
Think so. I don't think
it wasn't.
So.
It was different.
Yeah. Both covers were awesome. That one was Angel. This one, the A cover was a Preacher. So she goes through all this stuff and it tells her friend and that neighbor's being a creep still. And she's going on a date with this guy, and her other friend is on a date with another guy, and they end up getting like murdered. So I think the comic is kind of teasing the neighbor did it because he had a knife and he like stormed out of the house in a car driving like a psychopath, whatever. And so, I mean, I think the neighbor's still going to be a good guy. I think it'd be kind of lame if they like made him the bad guy, because it'd be like too obvious, but I guess it's obvious either way. But yeah, so like her friend and her boyfriend got chopped up in the same kind of sigil layout, which I thought was pretty cool. But that's the end of issue 1.
Gomer, you made me read Punisher, Kill Krew over this.
I didn't like this at all.
But you crapped on Kill Krew.
I mean, I crapped on a little bit, but I mean, it at least had some things I could take away from it. Dude, this felt like every summer horror movie.
Everybody in the live chat is saying this book looks great.
Oh, dude, it's one of the better books I read, I thought, this week. You know?
And this is from Zenoscope?
Yeah.
The company that usually just has the
cheesecake,
Dude,
scantily clad girls.
Yeah, they do Snow White and all these fables.
Oh, they're super cute. And like they have a fun talk. They're like, "Oh, you slut" and stuff. You know, you can tell it's like made for like it's almost like a Riverdale or something. You know, but like horror.
I think that's why I didn't like it.
I feel like someone wrote this comic to be
Shut up, Eli. You're supposed to be on my side.
Dude, everybody in the live chat is all about this.
I know. Now I feel like I'm a man against an army. I'm Captain America at the end of Endgame.
You don't have that
on my shield. Bro. I could do this all day.
You don't have that ass.
It is. It was Mean Girls meets Poltergeist. You don't know. I may have that ass.
For a $5 super chat, Gummer will stand up and turn around.
I have sweatpants on, so it's not going to be the same.
Even better, dude. Just pull them up tight.
Oh man.
So yeah, it is. It's Mean Girls meets Poltergeist, and I didn't like it. I'm ashamed to admit that I've read this, and you should be ashamed for choosing it. I hated this book.
That was cool.
It's a waste of my time. And it was $6.
That was
yeah. It was.
What?
Oh,
how many
was
pages?
$6?
How many pages was it?
It wasn't extra size. It didn't feel like any extra bigger to me.
It could have been 3 pages like Kill Krew. I mean,
33 pages. 33 pages. So a little larger than normal. 10 pages longer.
Zenoscope is in.
That shouldn't be $6.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Yeah, it should have been like
Zenoscope's located.
Or
yeah,
4. It should have been $3.99.
Yeah, but it's like a little extra large. It's like 10 pages longer than a normal issue. So
I could see $4.99, but not any more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
And I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan.
Okay, we get it. Let's move on to the X minute or X 10 minutes,
whatever.
It's
gonna be, it might be an hour.
We got 25 minutes. We're never going to wrap the show in an hour and a half. We just don't do that anymore. What happened to the show? We add Jason, and now we go 3 hours every show.
Dude, it's so fun. We can do this all day, bro.
All day. I got nowhere to be, honestly.
Yeah, man. I got to go to eat later on, so maybe. I don't.
Says the guy who gets up and leaves to go to see movies.
Yeah, I got to go see Spider-Man later.
You know, when you get that stare, you're like,
I went to bed at 9 and got up at 8.
Go.
I was like, I gotta go, dude.
Like the other day, I'm asking you questions. You're like, my wife's yelling at me. I'm
Yeah,
like, I get it, dude. We'll talk later.
Yep.
X minute.
All right. Powers of 10, number 2. Jonathan Hickman, RB Silva, Marte Gracia. Can we give it up to Marte Gracia for being the colorist on both House of X and Powers of 10? A little bit of continuity with the art there. I think that helps a whole lot. It's bringing
if
a
you
sense
want,
of
we can.
I mean, here you go. How's it?
Clayton Cow on the letters. We are together now, you and I. All right. This is complicated. All right. This gets into some serious shit. We continue to follow.
This baby hits 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Serious.
Doc Brown.
All right. It's just playing out right next to House of X. And in this book, Powers of 10, which goes through different time periods, House of X is X1, or 10 years after the X-Men thing, after the moment. But then we get 10 years before that, X0, 100 years in the future is X2, and 1,000 years in the future is X3. That's the whole Powers of 10 thing. Get it?
Got it.
Awesome. See, that's
Good.
complicated in and of itself. We get some cool moments in each time period. Moira and Xavier recruit Magneto. I thought that was nice. Magneto had a cool moment in there where he brings up the Operation Paperclip from World War II. That's later on when Cyclops is being the quintessential general when he's getting recruited to go take out the big master mold thing. What'd they call it? Ultimate mold or something?
Mother mold.
Mother mold. Ultra mother mold.
Yeah. I think a lot of speculators were like, oh, well, is this the first appearance of Mother Mold? But it was really the first issue.
Yes.
We know what she's called now. So
yeah, we just know what it's called. Exactly. So yeah, then we jump to 100 years in the future. Apocalypse is leading the remnants of the X-Men on Asteroid K. And I'm pretty sure those are not the X-Men and mutants that we know. Those are probably second-generation Sinister clones.
yeah, it could be. It probably. I mean, I guess Wolverine couldn't live that long, but like, yeah, you're right.
I doubt it. And it kind of fits because we do learn that the big Groot-looking dude in this is actually Krakoa, who has taken over Cypher's body. Remember Cypher from the first issue of House of X, where he created a language, a computer language that Krakoa could use to translate actual technology into whatever Krakoa uses. So it makes sense that the Magneto and the Zorn and the Wolverine that we're seeing here are actually two mutant genes combined into one dude. But I don't know. We're not really sure about all that yet. But anyway, I mean, oh my gosh. They stole this thing. What's her name? They lost Silo Bell, Cardinal, and I forget Homegirl's name. Steal this thing. They bring it back. And it's Apocalypse. He's the leader of everything. He said that this information that they stole is dope. That this is what they need to not lose. Because he didn't really say not win. Apocalypse sort of said that the machines are inevitable. What's going to happen there is inevitable. So we can assume that whatever Apocalypse was doing leads to what's happening in X3 or 1,000 years later. And that's when shit gets really complicated. Because Nimrod, the ultimate, who is not Nimrod in his body, he's more of what's on Nimrod's body's back in X2, which is 100 years later. He's sort of like this drone that flies around and hangs out with this blue girl who is known as the Librarian. We're not quite sure what she is, but the guess is that she is the remnants of the mutants, what's left of mutant kind.
I think she's Myra.
I mean, might be, but that doesn't make any sense to me either. It's just weird.
I think this is part of her master plan. Because we know like the end with like, they want to ascend with the Phalanx. And the Phalanx like judges whether you're worthy enough. If you are, you become part of the Phalanx. If not, then they destroy you. So
and she's actually on Nimbus.
Right. And what is their end game to, because her whole plan was for mutants to thrive. So if this is part of the end game of her idea for the mutants to thrive, then I assume the Librarian is Myra because she's the last one at the culmination of all this information in mutants, and that to ascend with the Phalanx, maybe they can use part of Nimrod or whatever to kind of take over consciousness or whatever and make like just mutants everywhere, the whole entire universe, or turn Phalanx into mutants or something. But, like, why would they have to do that? But, like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions, dude.
They did that when they built Nimbus, which is like the world mind that was created when.
That's category 4, I think, right? The world minds.
Are you referring to the civilization types?
Mm-hmm.
No, on the Kardashev scale, which is a theoretical mock-up of civilizations based on the amount of energy that civilization is able to utilize. There are only 3 civilizations. There is 4 and 5, but those were created by someone who is not Kardashev, and they have not been adopted as it. A first type civilization can use all of the energy available on their planet. Civilization 2 is a stellar civilization that can use all of the energy in its solar system. That's what Nibiru is, or Nimbus in this case. And Civilization 3, the Type 3, is a galactic civilization that can control all of the energy on the scale of its entire host galaxy. That is the Phalanx. The human, the world that we're in right now, in the real world, has not even reached a Type 1 civilization yet. The only reason I know this is because I listened to theoretical physicist Michio Kaku on podcasts. And he talks about this shit all the time.
All the time. Yeah, I used to listen to that like a couple years ago. But like, man, in the book though, like those Phalanx, I think, are category 5 or 6 or something like that.
No, they're saying those are 3.
Really? I thought I had a lot more categorized. I gotta do a couple takes.
Yeah, that's what it said in the chart. And that's how freaking crazy this is. If it wasn't for these infographics and charts explaining everything, we would be so lost, dude.
Did you see the news going around saying that Jonathan Hickman plagiarized some of this?
Oh yeah, like what?
Well,
the whole Moira stuff. Yeah.
Well,
like Groundhog's Day, like
yeah, that Groundhog's Day thing.
No, there was some novel,
like the lives of some dude, and I'd have to look it up.
I don't know if it was that he had tweeted that he had read it or interacted. He did admit that he read it. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
I don't care. He does it better. He can take it.
Yeah, I haven't read that novel. Maybe it's great. But
Jason's like, never heard of it. He did it better. Shut up.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, don't
well,
care.
there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from something.
That's everything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah. So
I was just trying to buy time for you to scroll through.
There's nothing original anymore. Everything is inspired or comes from something else. So.
Yeah,
I think what we have to understand here about these books is Hickman is still building a lot of elements that he's eventually going to get to, but he is giving you a payoff in a different kind of way where with each new issue, the preceding issues become better. They're that much more important. Like when we learn in Powers of 10 #1 that there was a Sinister clone sort of thing on Mars and stuff like that, and Sinister's betrayal. And then in this issue, when Moira goes in with Xavier to go recruit Magneto, her goal is to get all of the mutant kind to work together. So Sinister is obviously going to be part of that. And then we go back to House of X #1, where in the first page, Xavier is awakening his mutants out of pits that appear to be, now that we know, Sinister clone pits. So that's basically what I think has happened in this. And it's quite possible that none of the mutants that we've seen are actually the mutants that we think they are. They're just clones. 20 minutes maybe.
I'm kind of. I think I'm done with this.
Really,
dude? He makes you work for it, dude. There's a lot of complications going on,
and it's not just that. Is I feel like there's a lot of work going into this by the readers.
Yes.
That in the end, when that X-Men #1 hits, I don't know that it'll mean that much.
I don't think it will either.
Yeah,
I don't think it will either.
Yeah.
So I think I'm cashing out at this point, and I gave each one 2 issues to hook me, and at this point I'm cashing out, and I'll just wait for a YouTube video where someone way more intelligent than me explains everything that happens.
I think this is the most exciting X-Men has been in a very, very long time.
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm very excited about the series. Back to the societies, there's 6 different categories of society types. Yeah, so the first one's machine, second one's hive, the third one's intelligence, the fourth one is technarch, fifth is world mind, 6 is phalanx.
Yeah, but not all of those are civilization types. You can't get to a civilization type until you have a civilization. So, like the first one, the Machine One is just a single individual.
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
the hive mind is 10 or more
grouped up. Yeah.
individuals.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. But then they get into like the Technarch, and this all goes back to Warlock's race, you know, back with when the Claremont stuff. He's taking these old ideas and putting new spins on them, and it's working quite well, I think.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You mean those Phalanx books you can still find in dollar bins?
Yeah.
Dude, Phalanx looks dope.
Yeah. The Phalanx looks like it's a Hickman twist on Phalanx.
Right?
You guys
But
happy?
what is the goal of Ascension here now, right?
Yeah, right.
What is the goal of Ascension? What happens when you ascend? You just become part of the Phalanx?
Apparently, yeah.
Is that what the Librarian thinks they're worthy to be, you know, ascended? If you remember in Powers of 10 #1, they also had humans in like a preserve. You know, why are they still around? And are they going to ascend the same way? And if they're so important, why would you ascend?
If a Phalanx encounters a society that is worth consuming by adding to its intelligence needs, then ascension occurs.
Yeah.
If a Phalanx encounters a society that is not worth adding to its collective, then it will seed that society with a techno-organic virus. This virus will eventually produce a Babel spire that will summon a Technarch to repurpose that societal waste from the universe.
Oh, exactly. you know it's not.
Yeah, you know
the Phalanx puts they put up a glass ceiling.
Yeah,
it's corporate. You can't ascend.
I bet you
don't believe the Phalanx.
You know, with that extra information at the end, that they're not going to ascend. And
yes, they're not going to ascend. The Babel spire will go up.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to go up. It's going to change society. So I don't know. So they probably won't get destroyed. I think society's just going to change.
It's just weird that we're seeing this story play out from its before it actually began to its beginning to partway through to the end, and all of the different parts of the story are being told simultaneously. It's a unique way to tell a story, and I don't think you can do it in any other medium other than comics. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot. All right, Boogie. We're done.
I'm glad you're done because it's time to get into some random reviews presented by collarandelbowbrand.com. Check them out, collarandelbowbrand.com. Promo code ComicCast at checkout to save 10% on all of your latest and greatest professional wrestling merchandise. We didn't discuss it at all in the pre-show. I'm going to go first because I don't have a lot. And the last thing I have on my list, I know you guys will jump in on, so we'll do it that way. I read a lot of mediocre stuff this week. Flash 76 was a new story arc, but it was just okay.
Dude, I love the ending of that, dude.
Well, that's exactly what I've got here.
Dude,
it was
awesome.
It was such a slow start, and then the Black Flash showed up, and it was like, cool, let's jump in.
Yeah, now I'm in it because like this Black Flash is gonna hunt down all these other energy types and kill them, dude. It's so awesome. Like I'm so stoked. Like year one, great start. Terrible story arc, man. I thought it was so boring with a like fucking slow guy, dude. Like I don't know, I forget his name, but like
so why is he killing him?
Yeah, the turtle. Who cares about the turtle? But this one has a Black Flash, dude. Death hunting down all his forces. Like
so excited.
I'm so excited.
Did you not think the whole first part, the first 3/4 of this book was so slow, pointless? It was like, I'm sorry. My name's Barry Allen, and I'm sorry.
Dude, what a jerk Wally West is being too. Like, get over yourself, dude.
Why did they bring Wally West back just to crap all over him? Because that's all they've done since he's been back.
This Wally West in this story has nothing to do with Tom King.
Yeah, it's the other Wally West.
So he's killing everyone that's ever had a force power.
No, they're talking about the Sage Force and the whatever, all the forces,
all these other forces.
Right, he's killed them all.
Yeah, he killed Steadfast in this issue. The Black Flash. This is pretty awesome. I'm just excited to see Death hunt down people.
I also read Detective Comics again. I just felt like it was okay.
How about that cover, dude?
1009.
The cover.
Once again, the cover was great, and we see it at the end. Thanks for 2 pages.
That was a cool Batman issue.
I'm glad you guys are hating on me. But what was good that you guys didn't read, I'm sure, Oblivion Song. We finally get a look into the Faceless Men, which Kirkman has been teasing for issues and issues and issues. We got to see who they are, where they come from. I love this story. I feel like at times Kirkman may be dragging it out. It's like you could have done more, but that's kind of a good thing too, because every time I finish an issue, I'm ready for the next one. I'm ready for more. It always leaves me wanting more.
I read the last 3 issues of Oblivion Song just to read this last issue, just to make sure I was caught up. And it was fun. It was a fast read too. Like every issue is so fast read. You just read through it, man. Oh, it's great, man. I love Oblivion Song. I think it might be the best thing he's done in a while.
And it seems like nobody's talking about it.
I really like Die Die Die.
Are you reading Oblivion Song?
I didn't like Die Die Die.
I fell off like after 2 or 3 issues.
No way. I only read the first issue with Die Die Die, and I didn't dig Die Die Die. So
I loved it. It's so good.
No way.
I gotta read no lie, baby. Die Die Die.
Fantastic Four, number 13. Probably Dan Slott's best issue so far.
The Thing, dude.
This is the conclusion to that. It was Immortal Hulk versus the Thing. Action-packed, filled with emotion between Ben, Alicia, and her father, the Puppet Master. This is what Fantastic Four is supposed to be. Dan Slott, are you listening to me? This is what the Fantastic Four is. I loved it. I hope Slott carries this momentum into the next story arc, which is Point of Origin. Reed Richards' biggest regrets lead to a voyage to the one place in the universe the Fantastic Four have never been. That excites me. This was great. Come on, Dan Slott.
The Thing, when he punched the Hulk, his arm just shatters. All the rocks came off, dude. That was so awesome.
Did Ben end up consummating his marriage in this?
Nope.
He couldn't.
You have to wait a whole another year, bro.
Oh, man.
He wanted to start a family,
Blue
dude.
Balls.
Wanted to start a family.
Man.
How great was this issue, though, Jason? Did you read? You read?
Yeah, dude. Of course. I had to see how the fight was going to play out, man. And like, it kind of sucks that he used like inner strength, all he could do, he can muster his courage or whatever to beat the Immortal Hulk. That would never happen, bro. But still, it was really cool to see like Immortal Hulk, get knocked out by one punch that like shattered his whole entire arm. It was really cool seeing like the things like bruises or his skin underneath the rocks too, like kind of swollen stuff. That was really interesting because I always wanted to know like what it looked like underneath the rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's great, man. And then at the end, Immortal Hulk, he goes to the Puppet Master. He's like, "Yo, no one controls me." Breaks his fingers.
Awesome.
Puppet Master's like, "Oh, my hands!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm not done with you yet."
That's just
and
the beginning,
breaks
bro.
all his bones, dude.
Yep. So good.
So cool.
So good. Gideon Falls. This is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
Number 16, the best comic book on the shelf. Jeff Lemire, Andreas Florentino, Dave Stewart, and Steve Wands.
Eisner winning an award for new series because that's how good it is, bro.
Oh, dude.
Why can't Norton Sinclair remember what happened before he showed up at the orphanage at 9 years old? Did we get some answers? I think we get some answers.
I think we got more questions, though.
But that's my point.
But there were more questions.
How is Lemire going to tie all this thing together? If he does this like Lost, how is he gonna stick the landing to this thing when Norton, like, she's trying to tell him who he is and where he came from? He opens that door to the study and you get this 2-page layout of the barn.
So
chill bumps, man. I was covered with chill. This book is so freaking good.
I actually read 15 because I missed it. That was the weekend I had that wedding, and for some reason I didn't pick it up. So I had to go back.
Issues, like
15 to 16 back to back is, oh my gosh, dude.
So we know like the pre-series,
other comics should be embarrassed. They should. This is so good.
It's the best comic book on the shelf.
It is.
You said that. You said that months ago, and it's the truth. I went back and did a reread, maybe after the first arc. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've read it multiple times.
It's so much better when you go back through it. And now is probably a good time. I need to go through it again.
This is the end of an arc, so yeah, it's a great time to jump on this series if you have.
I think it was like earlier in this issue when they brought up like when they called him like they said the Cardinal when he got to that town. And I was like, oh, well, then immediately you put 2 and 2 together. It's like, oh, he's obviously the Cardinal that told himself to report to, the news, the Gideon Falls. And, he was like meant to do that job and made him stay there. That's why he was so like adamant about him staying there. Yeah. So like now, then at the end, it was a reveal. You're like, oh, like, yeah, of course. But
yeah,
it's just so cool. And
Dr. Wu and
she's all.
I mean, the reveal in this, Dad is now the bad guy. I mean,
right? Yeah. Oh my God, dude, that broke my heart but you knew that was coming. Me
too, man.
You knew that was coming because like when they were there in the town, like the older version of the Asian therapist lady, she was there in the town. She's like, oh yeah, the war between like the dark and good. We got to rally your troops with good. But she said like names of like the dark, side, and it was the one doctor's name. Oh man, that's gonna be like a bad guy. Maybe it's a different version of him. But then at the end, of this book, you see he got possessed. So it's like, oh man. So hopefully he doesn't like turn his whole entire like his son and daughter into like bad guys. Because
that last page was so sick, man. Yeah, last page, just the eyes.
Oh, dude.
Oh gosh, so good.
so good, man.
That's all I got. What's on Gaumer's pile?
I just got a couple of extra things. Conan the Barbarian Exodus #1. Esad Ribic did the writing and the art. Really no word balloons at all in this. Just a completely visual story. Very well done. Worth a pickup. It's just Eastside Rubik art all over the place. And Silver Surfer Black #3, Donny Cates, Tradmore. Man, the art is still just something else in this book. Lots of fun with this series. No mention really of Null at all. It's just Silver Surfer trying to fix ego, and by the end, it's a Galactus reveal. It's wonderful, very well done. Donny Cates does no wrong, and yeah, that's it, man. There were some other things I read, but nothing worth mentioning.
Adam, did you read anything?
Yes, and no. I haven't read it, but I did get the director's cut of Immortal Hulk #1, so I can get into the thought process of Mr. Al Ewing, and Second Coming #2.
I haven't read it yet. I didn't get to it.
It's actually one of the few comics that I laughed out loud reading it. But then at the end, it wraps up in it had a good what am I trying to say? Lesson, like a life lesson.
What is that? A G.I. Joe commercial?
A what? Yeah.
Knowing is half the battle.
It is.
No. It was the superhero character in it does kind of goes all bull in a china shop, and Jesus has to explain, like Jesus tries to get him to do things his way, or not do things his way, but tries to advise him, and it backfires on the superhero guy. And then in the end, Jesus has like this one panel where he explains, where he says something, and it was like a good life lesson that the superhero learned at the end. But there was one panel in there that I was laughing out loud, literally. It was so funny. Jason, did you or UV check out Second Coming?
That is the one issue I forgot to read. I meant to, but I did not get to. I read a lot, like Wednesday and today, or Saturday actually. Yeah, but I did not get a read.
Oh, so cute, puppy.
All right, you got 2 minutes. Tell us the best stuff you read this week.
The best stuff, dude. Justice League Odyssey was awesome. You got to see like Darkseid regain control of all his like powers. He's back full force. I like his reasoning for his justification for doing what he's doing. And you kind of get the death of Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern.
Oh no!
But I mean, that's not going to stick. You know what I mean?
I love her.
But she got she got hit with the beams, bro. She's like dust. But it was awesome. It was such a cool issue, man. I highly recommend it. Even if just to see Darkseid just be an ultimate badass and you have no idea what's going on in the story, just read this issue to see like some awesome art and Darkseid just annihilate everything.
Cool.
My other one I really liked, surprisingly, was Absolute Carnage, Separation Anxiety. I thought I would like Scream better because that was by Cullen Bunn. It was pretty good. But Separation Anxiety was super twisted. It was like a horror film, bro. It was like this girl, she's crying because her parents are like arguing and stuff, like kind of like a broken home happening. And like this dog comes up and she's like befriends the dog. She's like, okay, well, I got to go inside now. I was like, oh, well, you can come in if you want to. Brings the dog inside. But like that dog previously was, from, I guess like for the Foundation or whatever, is controlled by like all four symbiotes. like it's the dog is possessed by these like symbiotes from the Future Foundation, I think is what it's called.
Huh?
Was it Future Foundation? I always get that one and the Fantastic Four like mixed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Future Foundation is from the Fantastic Four group.
Yes, it is.
But anyways, so this dog comes in and it's like all the symbiotes come out while like the parents are arguing and like possesses both parents, and like it's a pure horror fest. Just upstairs to go and like talk to like rescue her brother, or actually go get her brother to see what he's doing, and it's like brings him down to see the dog, brings him down, sees her parents getting like just controlled by these symbiotes, and it's really gruesome and brutal how they did it, because it wasn't just like, oh, symbiote on the body taking over. It's more like being like, oh, what's happening, the screams and like goo going through the eyeballs and stuff. It's pretty graphic. And then like this neighbor stops over and he's like, yo, I heard like all this noise happening, everything okay? And they put on like a good face, like, oh yeah, it's fine, like come inside. and they like tear this guy's face off and like put him on like the dinner table and stuff, and like it's a pure freak horror show, bro. I highly recommend Separation Anxiety, and that writer apparently is going to be doing a new ongoing Carnage Scream series. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
so that's gonna be cool. Because I'd never heard this writer before. I don't remember his name, but like, it was really cool, man.
How does it fit in with Absolute Carnage, though? I mean,
because now all those 4 or 5 symbiotes that were in the dog are now the whole family. So now all this like 4 families. So it's like son, daughter, father, wife are.
See, I don't want to get.
It's kind of lame, but like.
I don't want to get into a bunch of tie-ins.
It was a really
cool read the event
man.
in Venom.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn it, I guess I got
and the Scream one too had what's her name? The one that was Mania, whatever.
Yeah.
It had her kind of battling, like she still had her demon powers, and she's back. So last time we saw her, and you know, Carnage was I forget which issue that was.
It was like one of those, I don't know, the web of Venom or whatever.
Yeah, where Carnage just like annihilated all her demons and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was back at that
Funeral Pyre, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I mean, I always get them all confused, dude.
Me
There's
too.
so many.
There's way too many.
But this one, dude, check if you're gonna check out either Absolute Carnage Scream or Separation Anxiety. Totally check out Separation Anxiety.
All
man.
right.
I'm totally like not giving a good review of it, but man, it's so worth checking out.
You
man.
can tell how excited you are talking about.
Oh,
yeah,
that speaks volumes, man. That speaks volumes.
I had a good time with Silver Surfer Black #3.
Yeah.
I'm still down with that. Analog, I think it's a new story arc and it had a cool beginning. Because before,
I fell off that. I really should pick that back up.
So did I. I fell off after the first arc, and I loved the first arc.
Dude, they had such a big like lull where nothing happens.
Yeah.
So it's like I gave up too. And when the last issue came out, like last month, I didn't care. I was like, I was kind of hyped to see it again. Then I was like, I had to remind myself who the characters were and stuff again.
Yeah.
But this one brought me back into it. It was a fun read. So I'm definitely going to continue reading that. But yeah, I guess that's it. All I really wanted to talk about.
Let's jump into the Outright Geekery book of the week. OutrightGeekery.com, your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews, podcasts, everything geek at your fingertips. OutrightGeekery.com. Once and Future #1, written by Kieran Gillen, art by Dan Mora, colors by Tamara Bonvillain, letters by the one, the only Ed Dukeshire.
The Duke.
For me, dude, right out of the gate, I hate the echo. Somebody needs to turn their headphones down. But this book, it's got an opening that it's like what we talked about with Manor Black a week or two ago. We're in Cornwall, Great Britain. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Cornwall.
Sounds all right.
We see what appears to be an archaeological dig with some kind of ancient weapons, and they are immediately stolen. Gunshots are fired. Deaths take place. Roll the title credits page with a badass looking skeleton with a crown on its head. And this is how you open a comic book. From there, Gillen kind of goes into storytelling mode, and he introduces us to 2 characters, a sweet little old lady in a nursing home. Just seems like a sweet little old lady. I love how you're kind of meeting this woman, and you see in the background the news is recapping this murder scene that we saw in the opening pages of the book. But then she decides to break out of the nursing home, and she ends up in the middle of the woods where she's got a stash of weapons that Rambo would kill for. And then from there, it just gets nuts, dude. What is the questing beast? It shows up. It looks like this snake-type dragon with a horse body, and we don't really know why. I'll get into that in a minute. But the grandmother is so focused on stopping these people that got a hold of these weapons, or scabbard. Is that how you say it? It's basically a sheath that a weapon goes into.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons term.
And she said, you look so cool and arrogant as you say that. She is more concerned with this sheath than she is the sword, which she goes on to tell, I guess it's her grandson, the redheaded kid that Jason doesn't like. She tells him the sheath is more important. The sword is Excalibur, as in King Arthur.
You mean Excalibur? You mean
Excalibur. The Excalibur. He's
so annoying. He's terrible.
He's supposed to be annoying, but we find out that she claims that this sheath heals all wounds. And she talks about this prophecy that King Arthur would return during Britain's darkest hour. But that could be taken two different ways, because would he return because of their darkest hour, or would he cause the darkest hour? There's a lot going on in this book. I enjoyed it. I know that I picked this for book of the week, but I honestly thought that White Trees was going to be the book I enjoyed more, and it was backwards. I dug this so much more than White Trees.
This may have been the best thing I read this week. I loved it.
It really very well could have been book of the week.
Very well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the art was cool. Yeah, it was a good time. I mean, we know. I guess apparently Arthur is a vampire, is what we're assuming, because she says she hunts vampires.
Granny used to hunt vampires, but she thinks they're all gone now.
I think
that's right.
I don't know if she was suggesting that she solely hunted vampires, or maybe she was an all-around sort of supernatural hunter sort of person, like Sam. And he, Sam. Nobody. That's okay.
The one of the misses in this book for me was that quest monster dragon thing.
Oh, that is straight out of Arthurian legend. It's been a part of it, like the Lady of the Lake. That's been a part of Arthurian legend since the beginning. That monster.
It just showed up out of nowhere, and
apparently we'll see it again. I guess we'll see it again later on.
But if it ties into that history, I'm good with it. I just don't know it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there's no reason to explain the mythology, but just know that it's part of Arthurian mythology. Like the Green Knight and all that stuff.
I definitely want to read more of this. I dug it,
I love Arthurian legend, man. It was like one of the first things, fantasy, that I really cut my teeth on.
Yeah, me too, man. Like the movie Excalibur, that's what got me into it, man. And Willow, not really. That is not really related, but
my mom got me this big ass book.
Out of the way, Peck.
Yeah, out of the way, Peck. The best racial slur in all of it.
I like to go Willow.
But I've always been a fan of Arthur stuff, King Arthur stuff, and this is so cool, dude. I love the grandma; she's great. I love the fish out of water of her grandkid.
And that redhead's going to be hooking up with that girl he went on a date with.
Oh, maybe.
She's in it. She's like, oh, you
no
care
way,
about your grandma?
Dude. She's going to disappear and never come back.
Yeah, she's coming back, bro. They left on her too long, so it's like she's going to come back in the story. She'll become his new partner or something like that.
Jason totally dumped wine on his wife.
She's Guinevere. She's Guinevere.
Right? Yeah, good call. Maybe that'd be cool to have like characters kind of come back full circle like that. I like that. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but yeah.
But if this book continues to go in this direction with grandma kicking ass and dude being the fish out of water, screw up grandkid that he was in this, and they keep throwing in all this King Arthur legend crap, yeah, dude, I'm on this forever. Especially with Kieran Gillen writing it. Yeah, forever. I love it.
Better than White Trees, bro. Way better than White Trees.
Way better than White Trees.
So much better.
White Trees has had its moments for me outside of the Siren Orgy. But yeah, this didn't need a Siren Orgy to be good,
I'm telling you, it hooked you right out of the gate. It hooked you right out of the gate.
It just needed a belly full of dogs.
Belly full of dogs. Well, that's the hunting beast or the questing beast. It sounds like a bunch of dogs on the hunt.
It sounds like me when I start a new Bethesda game. I am the questing beast.
I mean, it comes from a legend where they chose their leaders by lady giving dude a sword out of the water. So yeah, it's not really, set in anything solid. But I love this. I loved this book. It was wonderful.
Are we rating it?
I rated $3.99. Perfect.
I'm giving it $2.99. It wasn't perfect. I really enjoyed it, and we got a free review copy. But it's one of those books that I think I'll hang around and probably pick up a trade.
That's fair. That's fair. Jason, knock you down $1.
Yeah, I'll give it $2.99.
Yeah, I'm the same $2.99. It's I felt like it's a trope that has been done before, and so at this point you're relying on the characters to really shoulder the responsibility of this story.
No, they did that though. They did it okay.
Yeah, the grandma was cool.
Erotica. There you go.
The grandma was cool. The other main character guy, he's jury's still out on him.
Yeah. He seemed like the bumbling, stumbling sidekick that I want him to be. I don't know. Then it seemed like it was everything. Yeah, it was tropey, but I think it was building off of those tropes in a great way, in a good way.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. I'm not going to talk you guys.
I'm excited to see what I'm just excited to see what the grandma does. Because she's of course the funnest character. She's the most likable character, and
we haven't even met the villains yet.
Right.
Of course, the most unlikely character of the story is the one that does the vampire hunting and stuff like that. Of course. And of course, the bumbling, stumbling character is going to be the one who has the most growth.
Yeah. He's the introduction. He's the, we see everything happen through his eyes. We're learning it as he learns it. That's just kind of a comic trope, and I guess a story writing tactic. But
I did not like when he shoved the tree thing in the mouth. I was like, all right. That was
a big ass log, dude. That was a huge ass.
He's a rugby player.
He used Superman's strength to put it in that jaw.
He was a rugby player. He played rugby.
Freaking doing a monster's mouth open it's just tropey as hell. And I thought it would have been better if he had picked up a medium-sized stick and threw it like he was trying to do like a dog to get it to go chase the stick or something.
That one thing sort of put me into maybe a different mindset of what the story or the whole series actually was, because that did seem a bit comical and far-fetched, and that would never happen in the real world. So that must be the world that we're in. We're in a world that has 1 foot in the real world and 1 foot in the fantasy world. And I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good place to start a story, and then moving in and out of that should be interesting.
I felt really bad for the guy in the beginning that got shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he seemed like a nice guy.
No,
he really did.
God,
he really did.
He just likes to
bring him back. The fans demand it. Bring that guy back.
Yeah, he's the Barb.
Yeah, make him.
He lives with Riot. But $2.99.
Yeah, this surprised me. You guys, your scores surprised me.
It did not have enough penises.
Yeah, it didn't have
Come
enough.
Come on, man.
Siren whams like White Trees did.
All right. I've got a pee, so I think that's going to wrap it up for ComicCast issue number 157.
That's how we'll wrap every episode whenever Boogie can't hold it anymore.
Is this where I tell the story about when I peed while we were live on Facebook?
Oh, no.
Chad says I just used my root beer bottle, so.
Well, Chad Johnson, you're fairly new to the ComicCast community, so I'll tell the story again for the sake of telling it. We used to just do audio on the podcast, but Gaumer got the bright idea. We'll send that audio live to Facebook. So we'll live stream to Facebook while we record the podcast. Well, I wasn't used to that. So once we wrapped the show and we were done, I'm like, man, I got to piss so bad. I can't stand it. So I proceeded to pee in a beer bottle, not knowing we were still live on Facebook.
Was it like the Naked Gun when he had the mic on him and he wants
it was exactly like that. It was exactly like that.
Oh my god!
So that's your bonus little story for ComicCast.
So good.
You'll speak when you're spoken to if you know what's good for you.
Boogie, that is a Patreon exclusive.
Jason, where can they find you on the Twitter machine?
On Twitter, you can find me at Jason Cantu 1 or PartyPug666.
And tell them about your meme pages real quick.
Yeah, Comics Misexplained on Facebook and Instagram, and then also on YouTube, Comics Misexplained, and also Comic Core.
Cool.
And where can we find you?
All over. Yeah, Yubi had her own Instagram page for a while. And it was blowing up for a minute when
Instagram had the humans only.
Yeah, I keep getting kicked off of Facebook for my different meme pages. I have like a million meme pages, and some of them get in trouble.
Adam, where are you at on Twitter?
I am at Adam Wade Adams, where I can never be muted. Chad,
go like and retweet Adam. He gets sad when you guys don't retweet him. Gaumer,
I'm at Gaumer.
I'm at Boogie Bentley. That's going to wrap it up for ComicCast 157. We'll be back next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Do us a favor this week. Go tell somebody about ComicCast. Let's grow this live chat. We got the same cast of characters every single week. We love you guys, but let's grow it. So tell somebody about ComicCast this week. And that's it. Go check out Dwayne's World Comic Books and Games, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye.